but we've had a number of started yesterday. So right today, we're on meetings regularly. We had one last night with all the emergency folks, and then we had another one this morning at 11. And we'll meet with all the mayors at 1, and then we'll have another one at 3. So we're staying right on top of it. We've got all of our resources back, which is really, really good. But I think generally people are feeling positive that, it's a bad situation, but we're making the best of it, and we're all together working on it.
Is the situation improving in a good way?
Our understanding it is, but today will be the redefining day because the winds are down, but we're going to have hot weather, not much participation for about 3 or 4 days. So we've got to keep people. People need to be very cognizant. There's a ban across the province on fires, open fires of any kind, and I would say be cognizant of any movement in the woods. Really, recreational activities in the woods should be avoided.
When did you know that you had to kind of divert? Because I know you would have got a call from Nova Scotia to help there. What resources did you send, and when did you know you had to come back?
Well, there wasn't a lot of resources that had gone to Nova Scotia sets. There were planes, I think, that had gone, but not personnel. So the planes came back last night or this morning. But then we had others that were the same thing. Planes were moving around. I think Quebec, there was a situation, and we were looking for resources too, but they've got their own issues. But the personnel side, people side, we were told they're all back in the province now, and I've been told that certainly on the resource side, we have adequate resources now on the ground for the current situation. But that's a moving target, isn't it?
What was the input for you to make the trip in today?
Well, certainly for me, firstly is to stay out of the way and not be a nuisance, right? Not be involved in any, not impacting negatively the actual work that needs to be done on the ground, but to come to a place like this to see that the community has everything they need, because our role, along with our member here, Kathy, is certainly to know that the community is well supported. We're here as a provincial government to be part of the solution, and to provide whatever additional resources are needed to meet the needs of the community.
Just a few comments, Mrs. Bocus?
Well, I'm just so very pleased to welcome the Premier here today, not especially under these circumstances, but it's nice for him to see the people and to see the support in the community and to see all the work that's being done. The firefighters have been extraordinary. I mean, they've put aside their lives and they're saving people's homes. We were talking to some people here today who were here again last night, so they're still waiting to go home.
All right.
One more question. Just as there is also a fire in the Belle Isle region, there's some stuff on the Canadian Peninsula, and you've heard some stories of being called to fight fires in other communities and then also having to come back. But you mentioned resources, so I guess what's the plan, if things start to get hot in those areas as well?
Well, certainly we'll continue to ramp up wherever's needed in the province, but right now this is the most intense area. The others are listed in various degrees, but not so much in control as such, but kind of contained. There's one other significant one, but nothing like this one. So we feel that the current situation is well staffed, and the equipment is available, including the most effective ones with the air bombers, and so that's at this point in time. I think the situation is going to be: can we not only get things controlled today, but ensure that we don't do anything to start something else over the rest of the week, which is still going to be dry. And being a weekend, or getting out of the weekend and going into the week, there should be less activity. But I think it's just important that everybody thinks about how serious this can be, how serious it is in some areas. But I don't know that we've ever had 15 fires start in one day. Now, many of them were caused by the high winds and trees blowing down on power lines. So, that was a big factor. But there were some caused by recreational accidents, not intentionally at all. But that's the key, is that people need to be very respectful. Conditions are very dry, and they need to really avoid recreational activities in the woods if they at all possible.
We need the public to support the firefighters. We need them to do their part to support the firefighters who are out there.
So there's going to be a full communication today. What we confirmed, we've had several meetings leading up to this. The first one was kind of last night when this all broke. So last night, and then again this morning at 11. There'll be another one at 1. And we'll meet collectively at 3 again. But it's to kind of do assessments, ongoing assessments. But in the meeting this morning, it was last night's assessment, the communication required about what's needed to happen. As an example, the province-wide ban on open fires is now in place. That'll be significantly communicated. The communications around restricting use in recreational areas, the extent of what we've seen around the province, so people say, this is a concern just about everywhere in the province, and so use your discretion. But even fires in your backyard, I mean, like an open pit or barbecue, just avoid it. Because, and I just reiterate again that having 15 fires start in one day is certainly unique. Even though many of them started with the high winds and trees blowing over on power lines, but we've had trees blow on power lines before and it didn't start a fire. So that just gives an indication of what you don't necessarily expect this time of year, but we've got very dry conditions. Well, I think, Kathy, and this are just one, is that correct?
So far that we know of. That person does know, as far as I know, yes.
So everyone else can assume that their house is still standing.
Well, otherwise notified, I guess, and fingers crossed.
And
Water bombers, currently those water bombers are gonna go all the way back to Fredericton to get returned what they need for 24 hours. Is that something that the government should look at, perhaps a station that maybe is in St. George or maybe, somewhere closer that,
so I think that it would be worth understanding how the province is covered. If maybe after this gets over, to look at the coverage around the province, because basically the bombers are stationed strategically where the biggest exposure lies. I mean, this is a bit of a unique situation that we've seen here, but I think it's a good question to look at it, because they are positioned to be effective as they can to cover the province and to be kind of associating that with the potential risk in any particular area. So at this stage, we have them available to be here, and it could be another evaluation based on what we're finding, but they're pretty effective as a rule.
A news and public affairs production of CHCO-TV, New Brunswick's only source for independent community television.